February 2020, Melly was involved in a multi-inmate fight inside the day room of his area unit and was given a DR for his role in the fight. October 2020, placed on a room restriction for refusing to go back to his cell as he was trying to hide while on the phone.
Developing now, there's a new push to get rapper YNW Melly out of jail. He's currently awaiting retrial for two childhood friends, but a new lawsuit alleges he's being held in inhumane conditions.
Melly's career is officially clipped. No debate about it anymore. The witness tampering case has officially kicked off, and this one is completely separate from his main charges, which makes it even more dangerous for him. If Melly is found guilty here, it's an automatic life sentence, no matter what happens with the other case tied to Sack, Chaser, and Juvie. Back in 2020, during Melly's big trial, prosecutors say he forced his ex-girlfriend Mariah Hamilton to leave the United States.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
Once the new trial started in 2023, police were actively looking for her after she skipped court, ignored nonstop calls, and stayed off the grid despite house visits. She stayed gone for a long time. But by late 2025, Mariah wanted to come back home. Missing her family, she booked a flight using her real ID, not realizing that move would instantly trip airport security alerts.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
The moment she was waiting for her bags, police surrounded her and took her into custody. Authorities say Mariah knows exactly what happened to Sack, Chaser, and Juvie, but right now that part isn't even the focus. Prosecutors only need her to confirm one thing: that Melly made her leave the country. If that's proven, it's game over. Life behind bars.
There was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
Saying like to me, they going through extreme measures, trying to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom.
Some people believe jail staff turned up the pressure on Mariah, letting inmates treat her foul on purpose just to break her down. The goal, according to whispers, was to push her into taking a deal and flipping on Melly. No hesitation. At her very first court appearance, the judge laid it out clean and cold. The offer was simple: testify against Melly and walk free. Mariah took that deal on the spot, and that move hit Melly like a brick to the chest. Right after, she posted on Facebook saying, "Thank you to my village. I love everyone so much. God's plan, not mine." That message alone had the internet buzzing and prosecutors smiling.
I tweet out saying people are upset. I said, this is a gunna plea. This is a gunna plea. This isn't a plea saying you have to tell on him, but this is a plea that you're going to have to provide all the details that they were missing to convict him. And that's why it's a gunna plea. Why do I say he signed a gunna plea? Because YNW Melly, and I watched the case, we covered it. YNW Melly's case is that, number one, you guys have not done a job to prove that this is actually they have proved, but prove that this is a homicide with this person being the offender. Also, the accessory after the fact plea confirms that Bortland, that's kind of like almost like a sub part of a conspiracy, except you weren't with the conspiracy at first. You came in after the fact. What that proved is that they came in. What that proved is that Bortland worked with someone after he acknowledged that a took place in trying to cover it up. You hear what I just said? When pleading to an accessory to after the fact, you have to acknowledge that the happened and you assisted someone or in some way to cover the. Now, if Melly's statement is, how do we know that? And then secondly, how do we know who did? Because they said it was a drive-by.
But things got even darker when investigators dug into Mariah's iCloud account. They allegedly found disturbing evidence connected to Melly, including communication tied to jail phone calls. Prosecutors say this is straight-up witness tampering, a charge that carries life in prison all by itself.
He will be flipping. He is going to be tell-all about anything he knows about the double case, and they will know if he's telling the truth or telling a lie when he gives his full quote-unquote confession as to what happened that evening. And that's what happens. A lot of times where guys are in prison for 4 or 5 years awaiting trial and looking at a life sentence, and they're offered 10 years where they'll be home probably in another 3 years that he'll serve. he decides to flip and become a cheese eater. And that's what happens a lot of times on these cases. And I was expecting it to happen a lot sooner than it did. He held out for quite some time. But long story short is it looks like he's going to flip. And it makes the case on YNW Melly, depending on what he says, which I anticipate he'll say that YNW Melly is responsible.
And here's the wild part. This case stands alone. Even if nothing else sticks about Sack, Chaser, or Juvie, the tampering charge doesn't care. Juvie's father even came forward, accusing Melly of using a jail phone to force Mariah out of the country before trial. But Melly is in a nightmare spot right now, and there's no sugarcoating it. His co-defendant Borland just officially took a plea deal, exactly like everyone predicted, and that move cracked the whole case wide open.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
Borland didn't just take a deal, he agreed to a proffer too, which means he's talking and laying everything out. He pled down to accessory after the fact, got hit with 10 years plus 6 years of probation, and that's it. With his deposition already requested for the civil case, Melly is now standing alone with no shield left. That's where it gets ugly. The feds now have both Mariah and Borland lined up, two key pieces they can use directly against Melly. Academics broke it down even deeper, explaining why this plea deal is a disaster. The judge made Borland plead no contest on both charges, but here's the twist. To accept that plea, Borland still has to give a full factual explanation of what happened. That means he has to tell the story, step by step, proving the crime actually took place. It's basically a loaded plea deal, where he can't just nod his head. He has to sing it out loud for the court to hear. The message is clear. Borland will be forced to explain exactly how everything went down from his own point of view. All he has to do is break down how he helped cover it up. But to do that, he has to factually explain how Sack, Chaser, and Juvie passed. Once he admits it happened inside the car, there's really only one person left standing in the spotlight. That leaves Melly as the last possible suspect, and that's a brutal position to be in.
When you saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
At the same time, Melly's legal team has been scrambling, trying everything to get him released. They filed a lawsuit claiming he's being mistreated behind bars. It was officially announced that Melly is suing the Broward Sheriff's Office for cruel treatment and demanding immediate release. Melly also claims he hasn't been allowed to see or even speak to his family for nearly 3 years. That sparked reactions from other rappers saying things like, "I like what I'm hearing right now," and "Free Melly, he been in there way too long."
The YNW Melly, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing about being mistreated. When you done chose to play, think somebody.
The lawsuit paints a grim picture, saying Melly has been kept in freezing conditions, given barely edible food, and left without real human contact. An interview with Melly's mother made things even darker. She described his jail life as unbearable and said it feels like he might not last much longer. She also said it's unfair that Melly is the only one denied phone access, claiming his phone and mail privileges were taken over a year ago. Jamie King kept the interview going and made it clear she feels sick over how Melly is being treated, but admitted there's nothing she can do to change it. She sounded helpless, frustrated, and worn down by the whole situation. Then the media jumped straight into the mix. Charleston White spoke out and said this is exactly how Melly should be treated inside jail. No sympathy at all. That comment split the internet instantly. At the same time, Boogie stepped in with a completely different energy. He showed sympathy, saying he felt bad for all the pressure and stress Melly's mother has been carrying through all of this. While Melly's team was pushing hard for some kind of release, they at least convinced the judge to let both sides present evidence to see if a bond could happen, at minimum.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.
That's when prosecutors unloaded. They started with Melly allegedly admitting to it the same night everything went down. Then they played the video of Melly dancing with Borland just 5 hours later. No sadness, no emotion, nothing. Even though his close friend passed that same day. Another clip showed Melly jumping into the Jeep just 30 minutes before the crime happened. Prosecutors say they have video showing Melly getting into the back left seat, and that detail matters big time.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
According to official court documents, the direction of the rounds traveled from left to right inside the vehicle. That trajectory lines up perfectly with shots coming from the back left seat, the exact spot Melly was sitting in. But Melly's lawyers didn't stay quiet. They fired back, pointing out that the firearm linked to the incident was never recovered. That missing weapon is a major piece of their argument, helping them push the claim that this was actually a drive-by situation, not something that happened inside the car.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, could you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right-hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
Things got even stranger when investigators revealed what they found at Borland's house during the original trial.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Borland was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortland, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortland allegedly tampered with the witness.
Authorities released images of handwritten notes allegedly discovered during the home raid. Those notes reportedly listed where jurors were seated, and another note even matched descriptions of what each juror looked like.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortland, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
That raised serious red flags for the feds. Investigators believe Borland may have been planning to approach a juror outside the courtroom, either to pressure them or influence the verdict. And when you look back, the original trial only ended in a mistrial because one juror refused to vote guilty.
And Chris Thomas are. So what you're also going to find out is while Mr. Devins is out there on the side of the road, 4 in the morning, 4:42 specifically, he sends a drop pin, digital homing beacon, to his current location to one of his friends, Frederick Gibbons. Frederick Gibbons is also involved in the music industry, and he asked to be picked up. Frederick Gibbons, then about 11 minutes later, is sent another drop pin where Mr. Demons has moved a couple of meters. What you're going to find out as well, though, is these digital leashes, they have more than just phone call.
Now that Borland is officially working with the feds, Melly is completely on his own. No backup, no buffer, nothing. Prosecutors can now use Borland to explain every move from that night, including why Bang picked Melly up when everything went down.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging with him. And he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Demons having big B hand signs displayed.
Right, and see with individuals again, I'm assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
The state is also trying to introduce a Facebook post showing Melly with Young Thug, claiming it ties him to a so-called street team. Prosecutors are pushing the idea that the situation was motivated by team loyalty, and if that sticks, Melly's sentence could jump way higher.
Yes, sir. Against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
What shocked everyone is that Melly didn't even fight it. He straight up didn't care and was ready to let prosecutors use it. His own lawyers tried to stop him and warned him not to allow it, but Melly brushed it off.
I'm aware that 924-071. Call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership and again, there are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's to the death penalty. Aggravator, that's the gang enhancement itself, Your Honor. That was charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the further of the gang, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilty.
Something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
That moment made headlines fast. This hearing marked the first time Melly openly went against his legal team's advice in court. People in the courtroom heard him say, "I don't care. I'm not in no team." They can't prove that. And just when it couldn't get crazier, the feds dropped one last claim. A former OLOC member alleged Melly once visited King Von asking questions about how people get taken out.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me, bro. Why you put up there, bro? Walk the bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
If you want more real breakdowns like this, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this case, and I'll see you on the next one.